Let's do this.
So let me tell you my life story. I was born in Hemet, California on October 16th, 1996. I'd end up being adopted by my parents at birth, and we had lived in an area of Southern California called Sunland, California. This little creature that I'm drawing is something I remember from being in our pool at our Sunland house. Now this is a picture of me when I was a little baby, and that's my mom. This is all my siblings together in a picture with me. I'm the one on the left, not in the middle, that's my brother. And from Sunland we had moved to Granite Bay, which is near Sacramento. When we lived in Granite Bay, my parents owned this coffee house, and it was a very successful business. My parents made a lot of money with it, and life was good there. It was still the 90s, and 9/11 hadn't happened yet, so everything was pretty good. It was here in Granite Bay that I went to preschool. I made my first friend in preschool. His name is Nick. He and I have been friends ever since preschool, and we still hang out. In an earlier video, we went to the movies. As a little kid, I really liked Thomas the Tank Engine. I was just fascinated with trains. They were probably one of my favorite things, and all I wanted to do when I grew up was be a train conductor, I think, or a train engineer. But soon after, I realized that being a train conductor didn't pay well, and it wouldn't be a very successful job for me. So another thing that kind of piqued my interest was probably being a dentist, because I don't know, I just enjoyed the dentist, and a lot of kids just my age, they dreaded going to the dentist. So eventually my parents sold their coffee house. We ended up using the money to buy a new house in Alta Sierra. So in Alta Sierra, we moved during the middle of my second grade, and my parents had put me into karate. Our new house was just massive. But anyways, back to me in school. In second grade, I was probably one of the tallest kids, but Vanessa Hildebrand was taller than me. But by third grade, I ended up being taller than every other kid in my school, probably up until high school. And the next year, I had made a friend in fourth grade, and his name is Shane. And I've talked about Shane in some of my previous videos and about his YouTube channel. In fourth grade, Shane and I shared the same teacher. His name was Mr. Smart. Whenever Shane and I screwed around in class, or we were playing, I guess, Mr. Smart would always say to us, "Why don't you both grow up?" And I don't know, it seemed to stick in my head. And don't get me wrong, Mr. Smart was a great teacher, but there were a few things that made me upset with him. For instance, one time I had some geography work where I only had to color in like pictures of a map, and he gave me an F because I colored in the background of one of my pictures with yellow, and he put "Y yellow" and a big F on my paper. Now this is where things started to go bad. We had to file for bankruptcy because my mom had gotten sick from a bad root canal she had done. My mom's had a lot of kind of bad luck with her health. She early in her life had Hodgkin's 4B, stage 4B, Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a really, really deadly cancer. Luckily, she survived that. From the bad root canal, she got septic arthritis, and it went throughout her body. And my dad was told that he had to bring me and my siblings to go see her because she was probably going to die. She later got breast cancer and thyroid cancer. And it's just like, it seems like anything that can go wrong will go wrong with my mom. But she's very impressive with what she's able to do, and she's an amazing woman, and she's very tough. So after we had to move again to a new place called LOP, and it's a gated community, which was pretty hellish because of all their rules. At this time, I was in middle school, and I had put on a lot of weight, which you can see with this picture of me. And also, as my dad says, this is the time I go through my bang phase, where my hair is god awful. It was also during middle school when I started to pick up music. I started playing the trumpet like in 5th grade, but I really didn't know how to play until about 7th grade. This would also lead to me making a lot of friends, some from band, some not. Shane and I, we'd end up having this lunch group, and it was great. We were all friends till about the end of 8th grade. We'd go on this Washington, D.C. trip and stuff, and some of my friends would go off to different high schools. The group that remained, who went to Bear River with me, we'd still be friends, casual friends. Our group would, or I would, I guess, leave the group by the end of my freshman year. This was about the time between freshman and sophomore year, and I kind of drifted away from those friends and started hanging out with a bunch of people who I knew from band in high school. And that ended up becoming, my main friend group and basically my second family. So here's my student ID card when I was a freshman, sophomore. I was really ugly my sophomore year, probably because of the braces and stuff. This is me my junior year. I think this is my best picture. My junior year, I don't know why, but the homework seemed to get extremely hard. But it was worth it because this was the first time I'd ever fallen in love. Our high school was extremely small, so that made it so that juniors and seniors would go to prom. There was no junior prom and senior ball. This is all leading to how I fell in love, but throughout my life I had many crushes on many different girls, but I've only truly fallen in love only once. First time I've ever fallen in love was at my junior prom, and I didn't really know much about my date until we started talking before prom. I felt a connection with her when I was out on the dance floor and we had danced for the slow dance for the first time. I felt something with her, and the next couple days I just couldn't help it. So I said I had to ask her to be my girlfriend, and she ended up saying yes. Junior year was definitely a struggle for me, but it was a year full of accomplishments. I got my black belt, I quit Boy Scouts, but I got my Life Scout, and I had an amazing girlfriend. This is a picture of me from senior year. My senior year, it was very easy. I only had my senior project and had to look at colleges, really. But everything kind of was summed up by the end of my year at the graduation ceremony, and there was this terrible thunderstorm, and we got rained out and had to run back into our gymnasium. It was probably the best memory I ever had. Then I had started community college. There were a lot of things that hit me. I mean, the culture shock. There were so many different races of people, so many different religions. I'd chosen community college because it was cheaper than going to a university, even though a bunch of my friends gave me crap for going to that. But I ended up proving them wrong in the long run. And then I wasn't really sure what classes to take and what I was doing. I had no plan. I mean, my plan was to get my degree and transfer to become a dentist, but by my second semester, I think I had everything figured out. But I had a lot of challenges. I had my girlfriend broke up with me, and it had really taken its toll on me. And also, I'd been taking a lot of units at school. But one thing I learned from my breakup, I guess, is that love is a double-edged sword. Um, it's it's super painful when you have your heart broken and it hurts you deep inside. But love is an amazing thing, and I think it made me feel great. But anyways, I want to end with this graph of sort of my life so far. Um, you can see that there's a lot of peaks and valleys. Um, Going up, it's great. Times that were awesome, times that sucks. It goes down like 9/11, my mom getting sick, my high school life. It was amazing, but I really think um, my getting my heart broken was definitely the worst part of my life. But since then, doing YouTube videos, my life has improved. And every day I look forward to the future, whatever it brings, because I feel like there's nothing else in this world that could be that terrible. And I look forward to future success and achieving all my goals of, becoming a dentist, finding love, and being happy. So thank you guys for sticking to the very end and listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.